morning and welcome to my kitchen. It is episode 51. We've done 51 episodes. I'm really pleased with the way it's all going. Loads of viewers all over the world. Everything's good. Now, I'm going to make something really comforting and warming. I'm going to make a lovely soup. It's going to be a sweet potato and chipotle. So it's kind of Mexican inspired and warm and sweet and smoky. And we're going to serve it with some delicious Mexican style flatbreads topped with cheese and coriander. And I'm going to finish it. I'm going to be honest, this is a little self-indulgent even. I'm going to serve it with some chimichurri because it is my favorite thing in the world. It is just the most incredible salsa. So everything's South American today to try and warm us up because it's a bit cold out there, it's a bit dark, and it's a bit grey. So let's first of all get our pan on the heat. It's always really important to get the heat going before you start. Now, the smaller you chop your vegetables, the quicker this soup will be ready. So if you're hungry, cut them small. Emily, you're always hungry, aren't you?
Yeah, always.
So small it is. No.
Quick.
I mean, not too small, because we're going to blend it up. I like blended soups, and sweet potato gives you a lovely sort of velvety, thick textured soup, and then we're going to cut it with a bit of lime, and the chimichurri, and the breads. I'm quite excited, I'll be honest. I'm looking forward to this one. So, Pip thinks I'm chopping a carrot, so she's by my side, but I'm not, Pip. Sorry, it is not a carrot today. So, sorry?
She said she doesn't want onion.
No. So we're going to dice up the onion nice and sharp. Now I use edge keeper knives, so they're part of the Masterclass range. They're brilliant. They're really, really good. Pound for pound, great knives. Really, really good. Okay? And they come with a sheath, and that sharpens the knife every time you put it in and every time you take it out. So it's perfect for that job. Now, let's get a little glug of olive oil going in there. And in with our onions, okay? Lovely. So how's your week been, Emily?
Good. Busy.
Good. Busy? We're always busy, aren't we? We
Always
never stop.
busy.
Photographed Christmas again this week, haven't we? Again?
Christmas about 4 times a year.
Yeah. So I've got about 3 or 4 little cloves of garlic because it's going to give it real flavour. You want good depth of savoury flavour in this because sweet potatoes are sweet, surprisingly. So you don't want your soup to taste like custard. It needs to be like savoury and... So, good pinch of salt in there. That's going to help draw out the moisture and get everything going. Then some pepper. And because it's sweet potato, it's going to take all those, you see. Could
you use regular potatoes if you didn't want to use sweet?
Yeah, but I don't really like regular potato in soup. It's a bit starchy. A bit like baby food. It's a fine line between like mashed potato and soup.
Yeah.
So, sweet potatoes, look, that's the size we're going to dice. Can you wait that long?
Yeah.
It's too late, isn't it? Yeah. So, just going to dice them up and get those in. Now, if you have any questions as well about our recipes today, please do post them in the comments below and I will answer them as best I can. And if you want the recipes, scan the QR code on the bottom. It takes you straight to Masterclass's website, which is masterclass.co. They are our sponsors and they help us make this program every week. So thank you very much to you guys.
I've got an alternative.
Go on.
Could you use pumpkin or squash?
Yeah, you could.
See?
Butternut squash, pumpkin, delicious. They'll all make, or a mix even. Sweet potatoes, I mean, they're quite cheap and they're good for you, sweet potatoes. So it's just a good all-rounder. But yeah, butternut squash, sweet potato, pumpkin. Emily's got pumpkins laying around her photography studio, basically, from last month. Haven't you?
No.
Yes. Okay, so we're just dicing them up. And we're going to get some good flavours in here in a minute. I'm going to show you. I bought some smoked Mexican chili. Should be nice. Give it real authentic flavour. And you can really, I would always make loads of this as well. My wife takes soup to work with her, so this is a good one for her because she'll be able to put it in her school bag and take it to work. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in some cumin, ground cumin, Works really well with squashes, pumpkins, and sweet potatoes. And it's a very sort of, in Mexican chili, you get cumin quite a lot. Okay.
People are going to be watching the size that you cut them into.
I know. The thing is, if you don't cut them the same size, they won't cook at the same time. So when we come to blend it, you won't end up with that velvety, thick texture that we're looking for on this one. Okay? So, I actually have a soup maker. Have you seen that? It's like a big blender jug with a heater on it. My wife uses it more. I don't use it, but
That's quite magical.
I got a saucepan. Saucepans do the same job, if you ask me. But, right, last one. I think Pops would probably take this to school as well.
Yeah.
She's sort of just starting to get into spices and flavours. Katsu curry we introduced her to the other weekend. I was a very proud moment. So, there we go. All the sweet potatoes, the onions, the garlic, the cumin, salt and pepper in there, a bit of splash of olive oil, cooking down. So that is the base of what we're doing. Now, let me show you these. So you can get these, I think I bought these in Marks and Spencer's actually. And they're like, smell those. It's like they're sun-dried and they're almost meaty in the way that they smell, and they're dried, smoked Mexican chili peppers. Now, if you don't like the heat, can you hear that?
Oh, yeah. I love that.
Yeah. You shake your maracas at me. You can take the seeds out and they will not be as hot, okay? So, now if you don't get these, let me show you what you can get, okay? Really easy, you can get these everywhere. So we've got a little bit of chipotle paste, so it's easier to get as a paste. You can just add that in with the stock and the liquid. Got it?
On the chopping board?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let me just boil the kettle and we'll reconstitute our chili. So the idea is that you would drop this into some boiling water and let it hydrate, okay? And I'll do that so you can see it. But if I was doing it normally, I'd just whack it in with the water for the soup, yeah? But really easy to get hold of those, dead easy. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I've got a couple of stock cubes. I'm going to add those in because I just want a good depth of flavour. So you can use vegetable or you could use chicken. It is entirely up to you, whichever you prefer. Okay, now let's get our water in. Don't put too much water in, okay? You want it to be just above the surface of all the vegetables, because if you put too much liquid in, you're going to end up with a really thin soup. And you want that lovely, thick, rich soup, in my opinion. So, let's put our chili in there. Here's our kettle, and then just put enough boiling water on there for it to submerge and soak and hydrate. Now, once you've tried these, I promise me, you'll use them loads. They're addictive. All right. Okay. So, I've got a couple of limes here as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the lime zest in the soup. Okay. Because I don't want to waste it. And that little bit of lime, we're going to put the juice in at the end as well and get that really nice balance of flavour. So it's not all thick, heavy and rich. It's got a little bit of bite to it. That's where the chimichurri will come in as well. So, there we go. Lime zest in. Hang on to those limes for later. Let's pop the lid on and get it up to boiling. Yeah, it's good, isn't it? But quickly, that will start to hydrate. So while that's going on, I'm going to show you how to make some nice little flatbreads to go with our soup, all right? So I've got strong bread flour, okay? Cars have served me well over the years, so it's a good flour. You can get it all over the UK, but you want bread flour, okay? Whatever brand you want. So I'm going with 450 grams. And then I have got 7 grams of yeast and 10 grams of salt. Okay, just blend all those up together. Okay. Now we'll make a little well in the middle. And then in with a touch of olive oil. That'll help us have a nice soft flatbread. So when you add fat to doughs, they tend to be nice and soft. All right. Now, I've got a good beer. Now, this is a beer with a bit of flavour. A lager will not give you any flavour. It will give you the bubbles and the light bread, but it won't give you any flavour at all. The darker the beer, the more flavour you will get in it, okay? Now, if you don't want to use beer, use sparkling water. But again, you're not going to get the flavour from it, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. I just find it a good reason to open a bottle of beer, because I won't need it all. Wonder what I might do with it. So, 450 grams of flour in here will probably take about 300 mils of liquid. Okay? So that is, yeah, a little bit more. And then we'll save that for the chef. All right? Okay, so roll the dough around. Can you see this all right from above? Is that where we're at?
Yeah.
So you can see the dough has come clean from the bowl. Yeah? Like that. That's how you know it's ready to transfer over. All right. My soup is up to boil. So we're just going to knead the bread. Okay? So hold it with one hand and push it away with the other. All right? Nice and easy. Don't add any other flour. Okay? People are tempted to add more and more flour because it feels a bit sticky. But the more flour you add, the tighter the dough will become. The tighter the dough, the more dense the bake, okay? So the way to get past that stickiness is to put a bit of work in and a bit of effort, all right? So just push it, and you can see I've added no flour, and it's now becoming more manageable because we're developing the gluten, okay?
Who needs the gym?
Exactly. Don't go to the gym, bake bread, then you can eat it, and it makes you happy.
It's all about balance.
Bread makes you happy. Bread makes me happy. I love bread. Something very comforting about making bread yourself. Just getting stuck into dough and making it yourself and going through that process. I find it quite calming. It's quite, I don't know, I'm off. I'm away with the fairies now. I'm away with the dough fairies. But you can see, can you see how it's changed?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we've just developed the gluten. And the more you knead it and work it, the stretchier it'll become, okay? Right. So I'm just going to put that to one side and leave it. Now, you could do this dough the night before if you wanted to. You know, if you're planning ahead and you want it to be organised, you could make this dough the night before, whack it in the fridge. Next day, it's ready to go. All right? But I'm just going to leave that, put it to one side while we get the soup going. And then we'll roll out some flatbreads and cook them in frying pans, okay? So we're not going to bake them in the oven today. We're just going to cook them, grill them, top them with a bit of cheese, a bit of coriander. Be good. Right, put that to one side. Okay, let's get that up the heat. Just wash my hands. Right, soup's boiling. Let's have a look at these chillies, okay? So you can see, look, they've hydrated now. Yeah, I'm going to take the top off. And I'm actually going to get rid of the seeds because I don't want loads of heat. I want smoke and warmth, okay? I'm going to see if I can get my mate, Mr. Kerry Irving, and the dogs, and we'll see if we can get up on a fell and sit and have this one day. Now I'm going to pour a little bit of that water in, not a lot. Don't want the seeds in there. I know Kerry's a bit of a wimp when it comes to chilli. We won't tell him there's garlic in there, even though he thinks he doesn't like it. We know better, don't we, Emily?
We do.
We know better. Right. Give that a little stir. So that's going to take about 10, 15 minutes cooking away. When the sweet potatoes are tender and soft, that's when you can blend it, okay? So while that's going on, we'll make our flatbreads. So the dough's sort of relaxed a little bit now. Okay, so we'll just squeeze it in the middle, and then you end up with 2 equal portions. Squeeze that one in the middle. Okay, you see where I'm going with this, don't you? It's another fractions lesson again. You can tell what we're doing at homeschooling at the moment. Right. Okay, almost there. So that is the really quick, easy way to divide them all up. So we'll put them over there to one side because I'm just going to cook a couple of these. So we're going to make start with a nice round bread roll, okay, like so. And then we'll do the same with the other one. Okay, I'm just going to run my fingers around the dough. Can you see that all right, Emily?
I can't.
It's just kind of starting it off. We want pita breads, really. That kind of shape. All right? So you might as well sort of start with the shape. I was always taught when you're rolling stuff out, start with the shape you want to finish with. Makes life much easier. Okay? Right, I'm going to transfer this soup over to another hob. Right, let's get a non-stick pan on the heat. It's important if you're going to toast the flatbreads in a frying pan, they want to be nice and warm to begin with, okay? So, rolling pin. And then roll and turn. Roll and turn. So I'm going to fit 2 of those in there. Maybe we'll go a bit elongated. Okay. There's one. And then we'll go on the next one. Yeah, that'll do. Okay. So, just give them a little stretch. Because we've developed the proteins and the gluten in there, they are going to want to stretch a little bit. Okay. There we go. So let's pop those into a hot pan. No oil, no nothing in this pan. We want them nice and dry because we want to toast them. Okay, so while they are toasting, back to the chopping board. Okay, so we're going to make a topping for our flatbreads, and we're going to show you how to make the most amazing chimichurri, and this is how I do it. That's how you make my chimichurri. It is a little bit self-indulgent. I love it. Now, whether you want it with your soup or not, that's entirely up to you. But once you've tried this, you'll want to put it on everything. So I'm just going to tell you what it works really well with. It's designed to go with like steaks, roast chicken, meats. It's an Argentinian salsa, and it's kind of designed to sort of cut through the richness. It's delicious. I absolutely love it. Which is why it works really well with this, okay? So it cuts through that richness. But while our flatbreads are toasting, I thought we would just make, like, Mexicans really like cheese with their food. So I thought I'd make like a nice sort of cheese on toast, isn't it really? Cheese on toast. So I've just got a mozzarella ball here and I've just diced it up. You could use grated if that's all you can get, not a problem. Okay, and now I've got some coriander that I'm going to use to finish my soup with, but the stalk has got so much flavour, honestly. And it will take cooking, whereas the leaf is quite delicate. So I tend to finish things off with the leaf. So we'll just remove the leaf and we'll use that for the soup just to finish it really. but the stalk we will chop into tiny little pieces. All right? And it's going to work really well. It's just brings everything to life. Okay? Just turn those up. Right. So once you have got, now if you like it really spicy, add a bit of chilli to this if you want to. Okay, I'm just going to add a little drizzle of olive oil. Okay, that's it. And then I'm going to season it up with a little bit of black pepper and a little bit of salt. Not a lot, just a tiny bit. And then we mix it together, okay, like so. That's it, nice. Okay. And then, can you see the flatbreads, Emily? Can you see how they're just starting to smoke a little bit? They're just starting to toast. And when they're at that stage, do you see?
Yeah.
Yeah? And you can see that bubble there is just coming up. All right, that's when you then add your cheese, okay? So just spread it out and top it. You don't need to put loads on, although loads is quite nice. All right. There we go. Lovely. Just wash my hands. And then those limes that we haven't used yet, I'm just going to add a little bit on top there, okay? Tiny, these are tiny little touches. They just make things lovely. All right? Let that lime juice just kind of soak in on that cheese. It's going to be good. It's going to be really good. Now, what you can do, I'm going to whack these straight into the oven, under the grill, and get them all bubbly and melty and delicious. We're going to serve them up with a soup. Now, if you're making all of them, what I would do is just toast the bottom of the breads, put them on a baking tray, do this, and then whack the tray under the grill. But I just wanted to show you really quickly how to do a few of them. So, under the grill, I'm going to turn the grill up and get that heat really going well. So they're going to take about 5 minutes under the grill. I'm going to get the soup, we'll get that blended up, and then we'll serve it all together. So you can see the soup is just silky smooth, okay? And that's what you want. From a sweet potato soup, it wants to be thick and rich and delicious. Now, let's get a bowl out. Let's just whip these flatbreads out. Whoa, look at that. Can you see those, Emily?
Oh, look then.
Yeah? So they're really simple, but just delicious. And they are kind of like, they're the perfect thing you should have with this soup. All right? The soup, I mean, look at that. It's just so good. Let's taste it, make sure it's right for seasoning. Because it's at this point that you can do something about it. If you've put it in the bowls, it's like, well, you can put salt and pepper in it and that's it. It's good, that. Squeeze a lime in there is going to make a difference, in my opinion. There we go. Right, Emily, you need to try this. Are you up for this?
I am.
Okay.
You know I'm always up for it.
Right, let me get you a spoon. See what you think of this. Even
Oh,
with
you get the full works.
You get the full works. There you go. Try that. Tell me what you think of that. Now, it's got that little bit of lime juice in it. So it's not all just rich. Okay? Yeah? It's a good noise, that.
That is good.
There we go. Now, that is our soup. Okay, a little bit of coriander in there if you want it.
Oh.
It's nice, isn't it? I mean, talk about warming up your winter's day and then get your chimichurri. Please make the chimichurri. If you've never had chimichurri before,
You're missing out.
make it. It is so good. So good.
It's one of those things you could eat by the spoonful.
Yeah, yeah. And then just get some of the oil and the vinegar, and that is just gonna cut through. So every time you have a little spoonful, you'll get a little bit of something different, all right? Which is what makes it really interesting. I think sometimes soup can get a bit boring because it's all the same, whereas with this, and then we've got our coriander flatbreads. There you go. Oh my goodness. That is not just any soup. That is sweet potato soup with chipotle. It's got chimichurri with it, and it's got some epic little Mexican style flatbreads. Now, if you want the recipes, scan the QR code on the bottom, go to masterclass.co website. You will find all our recipes there. Thank you very much to our sponsors, Masterclass. Those guys' support helps us make this program every week. Now, if you enjoy the program, please share it with your friends, your family, your work colleagues. Let's grow the audience. We're planning a Christmas series, everything but the turkey. I'm going to show you how to make everything for Christmas dinner, apart from the turkey, because that's the easy bit, isn't it? Let's be honest. But thank you very much for joining us. I will see you next week, and we will make a start on Christmas.